Once upon a time, there was a young man named Luke who loved nothing more than reading. One day he came across an old dusty book in the attic of his house. As he opened it, the pages began to tremble and suddenly he was sucked inside. When he looked around, he saw that he was flying alongside the brothers on a rickety bicycle. "What the deuce?" he exclaimed. The older brother turned around and said, "Don't be alarmed. I'm Orville, and this here's my brother Wilbur. We're about to make history by flying our airplane for the first time." Luke soon realized that the book had sent him back in time to the year 1903 to meet the Wright brothers, the inventors of the airplane. But when Luke asked if he could take a spin in the plane, Orville said, "Sorry, we can't take you up right now. We're having some problems with the engine." Sure enough, when they tried to get the plane off the ground, it just crashed into a nearby hill. It crashed so hard that the propeller fell off and landed in a nearby cow pasture. The brothers were so dejected that Luke felt bad. "Don't worry," he said. "I bet I can fix your plane and even suggest a few ways you can improve its design." Orville and Wilbur looked at each other and sighed. "Thanks for your help," said Wilbur, "but we don't have time to waste. We've got to get this thing fixed and flying before dark." So the brothers split up to go look for the missing propeller and left Luke alone with the plane. Luke thought for a moment about how to improve their design. He knew from history that their first flight only lasted 12 seconds and covered a distance of only 120 feet. I wonder if these guys would have better luck if they had wings. And being an expert flyer from his time, Luke proceeded to attach a pair of large white wings to the side of the plane. He then went over to the shed to get some materials to fashion a propeller out of. "I know this isn't exactly aerodynamic," he said, holding up a rake, "but I'm sure it'll work just fine." When the brothers came back with the propeller, they were shocked to see the new contraption. "What in the world did you do to our plane?" yelled Orville. "Don't get upset. I was just trying to help. I think these wings will really improve your plane's design and allow you to stay flying much longer," Luke said. Orville shook his head in disbelief and went back to tinkering with the engine. Luke then grabbed some string and fashioned a makeshift parachute out of a nearby blanket. Then he got an idea. "Hey, I bet these things would fly even better if they had a parachute made out of cheese," he said to the brothers, and to prove his point, he attached a parachute to the plane and jumped in. "Watch and learn," he said as he pulled on a lever as the plane lurched forward. The cheese parachute billowed behind it. Luke was so excited, but his joy was short-lived because the cheese parachute immediately began to unravel. "Oh no," he cried, "I didn't cut the string right," and with that, the cheese flew away and Luke was left plummeting toward the ground. Orville and Wilbur watched in horror as their new contraption took off, then began to fall apart. But just as Luke was about to smack into the ground, Wilbur grabbed onto the blanket parachute and managed to pull Luke and the plane back up into the air. Luke apologized for the fiasco, but Wilbur simply replied, "You may have a screw loose, but I have to admit that was pretty clever. You definitely have a knack for fixing machines." Luke blushed and thanked Wilbur for the compliment. And as the sun began to set, the three of them worked together to finish fixing the plane. Luke suggested attaching the propeller with some duct tape, which might not have been very aerodynamic, but it definitely held the propeller in place finally. The plane was ready for takeoff. Orville got in and said, "All right, Luke, show us how you would fly this plane." Luke took a deep breath, gripped the controls, and yelled, "Here goes nothing." With a loud roar, the plane shot down the track, rose into the air, and stayed there. Orville and Wilbur were ecstatic. "We did it," they shouted as they waved to Luke. "It's a miracle," said Luke, waving back. "A miracle made of duct tape and a prayer." And with that, he closed his eyes, smiled, and let the wind carry him away. Thank you for coming along this adventure with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Good night, little one.